And now before we start, I'd like to tell you a small story, which some of you may already be familiar with. Stan Rogers has written a song about a ship that sank in a storm and about the men who raised her through much adversity. It's a very stirring song, and one that I'm sure a lot of you know. Well, on February 12th of this last year, in a storm, a ship did go down. It was the Marine Electric, and it went down on the Atlantic Ocean, traveling north towards Boston. Some of you may have read about it in the newspaper. There was a crew of 34, and 3 survived. One of the people who survived wrote a letter to Stan, and was quoted on the news here, as saying that the thing that kept him alive was remembering that song of Stan Rogers. It's a song about men's efforts, but it's also a song about qualities of effort, perseverance, and faith. The man is with us tonight. I'd like to introduce him to you. His name is Robert Cusick. He is the Chief Officer of the Marine Electric. Would you stand up, Mr. Cusick, please? I think the reason that he is with us is not because of the song itself, but because he exemplifies the kind of qualities that song is about. And it's those qualities that infuse Stan Rogers' writing. And I'd like to introduce now the man who wrote the Mary Ellen Carter and a lot of other songs that all of us have taken to heart, Mr. Stan Rogers.
Well, thank you very much. You can't imagine what a treat this is.
It's really great standing behind the stage there listening to an opening act that's scaring the hell out of you.
Bill Morrissey is number one with us. I don't know how you feel about him, but he's...
Okay.
You all set?
Yep. Serve me, assist me.
I rise up every morning at 7:45. Some woman who's my wife tells me not to be late. I kiss the kids goodbye, I can't remember their names. And week after week, it's always the same. And it's, oh boys, can't you code it? Woo! And program it right. Nothing ever happens in this life of mine. I'm hauling up the data on the Xerox line.
Yeah.
And it's code in the data, give the keyboard a punch, then cross, correlate, and a break for some lunch. Correlate, tabulate, process, and screen. Program, print out, regress to the mean. And it's, oh boys, can't you code it? Woo! And program it right. Nothing ever happens in this life of mine. I'm hauling up the data on the Xerox line. Yeah. Then it's home again, eat again, watch some TV, make love to your woman at 10:53. I dream the same dream when I'm sleeping at night. I'm soaring over hills like an eagle in flight. And it's, oh boys, can't you code it? Woo! And program it right. Nothing ever happens in this life of mine. I'm hauling up the data on the Xerox line. Yeah. Someday I'm gonna give up all the buttons and things. I'll punch that time clock till it can't ring. Burn up my necktie and set myself free. 'Cause no one's gonna fold, bend, or mutilate me. And it's, oh boys, can't you code it? Woo! And program it right. Nothing ever happens in this life of mine. I'm hauling up the data on the Xerox line. And it's, oh boys, can't you code it? Woo! And program it right. Nothing ever happens in this life of mine. I'm hauling up the data on the Xerox line. Yeah. spot far away. We all know well the place that's called the Lookout Hill, where the rabbits hop, the wildcats yell. How I love that place, no one can tell. There are trout streams there and moose and deer, but you never lay eyes on a grizzly bear. So take a pack up on your back and head your way up the lookout track. There'll be a time when I am old and my poor old bones are stiff and cold. I'll head to the lookout with the setting sun, and when I smell those spruce trees I'll feel young. When the creeks are frozen, the lakes are high, and you hear the owl in the moonlight cry, I'll head to the lookout, the spirit's high. Goodbye, my friend, it's there I'll die. There's a spot far away, we all know well, the place that's called the Lookout Hill, where the rabbits hop, the wildcats yell. How I love that place, no one can tell. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That song was written in 1938 by the Chief Forestry Officer for Antigonish County, Nova Scotia.
Who also happens to be our uncle, and that's why we do the tune. Uncle Lee is kind of a neat guy. I have to talk while Jim goes and changes his guitar cord. He went away on vacation. Uncle Lee is kind of a neat guy. He's sort of a backwoods Renaissance man. As well as being a forestry officer, he makes canoes and guitars in his spare time. They sound much the same. He's actually responsible for making Stan's very first instrument. It's a lovely guitar, about the size of my fiddle, and it's made out of 3/4-inch birch plywood. Beautiful guitar.
It is a wonderful machine. The frets, instead of being the normal fret wire material, it's 3/8-inch brass brazing rod. Wonderful stuff. And the original nut and saddle were carved from an old toothbrush. Somebody once suggested that I grow flowers in it.
It's got really beautiful inlay on it, all up and down the fretboard, out of mother of toilet seat. It's love that guitar.
Yeah, and then the pickguard is mother of linoleum too. Yeah, it's a great guitar. I still play it. I hang it on the wall of my living room, and I still play it from time to time. I even played it on national television in Canada one night.
All right, go ahead.
All right. This next song, I can see I'm going to have trouble with him tonight. This next song was a sort of a posthumous collaboration. The lyrics were written by the 19th century English novelist, clergyman, and poet Charles Kingsley. The music for this song was written by a certain violinist of my acquaintance.
It was very difficult getting in touch with Mr. Kingsley. We were communicating via Ouija board for a while, and
Hey, you've been communicating with spirits for a long time. Three Fishers. Three fishers went sailing out into the west. Out into the west as the sun went down. Each thought on the woman that loved him the best. And the children stood watching them out of the town. For men must work and women must weep. For there's little to earn and there's many to keep. And the harbor bar be moaning, and the harbor bar be moaning. wife sat in the lighthouse tower, and they trimmed the lamps as the sun went down, and they looked at the squall and they looked at the showers, and the night rack came rolling in ragged and brown. For men must work and women must weep, though storms be sudden and the waters be deep, and the harbor bar be moaning, and the harbor bar be moaning. For men must work and women must weep, though storms be sudden and the waters be deep, and the harbor bar be moaning, and the harbor bar be moaning. 3 corpses lay out on the shining sand in the morning gleam as the tide went down, and the women were weeping and wringing their hands for those who would never come back to the town. For men must work and women must weep, and the sooner it's over, the sooner to sleep, and goodbye to the bar and its moaning, and goodbye to the bar and its moaning. For men must work and women must weep, and the sooner it's over, the sooner to sleep, and goodbye to the bar and its moaning, and goodbye to the bar and its moaning.
Good.
Yep. 1, 2, 1, 2. Thank you. Watch the field behind the plow turn to straight dark rows. Feel the trickle in your clothes. Blow the dust cake from your nose. Hear the tractor's steady roar. Oh, you can't stop now. There's a quarter section more or less to go. And it figures that the rain keeps its own sweet time. You can watch it come for miles, so you guess you've got a while, and ease the throttle out a hair. Every rod's a game, there's victory in every quarter mile. Or oh, cruising down the road, the heartache came and hoppers brought him down. He gave it up and went to town. Emmett Pierce the other day took a heart attack and died at 42. You could see it coming on, 'cause he worked as hard as you. In an hour, maybe more, you'll be wet clear through. is cooler now. Pull your hat brim further down and watch the field behind the plow. Turn to straight, dark rows. Put another season's promise in the ground. And if the harvest's any good, the money just might cover all the loans. You've mortgaged all you own. Buy the kids a winter coat. Take the wife back east for Christmas if you can. All summer she hangs on when you're so tied to the land. The good times come and go, but at least there's rain, so this won't be barren ground when September rolls around. So watch the field behind the plow, turn to straight, dark rows, put another season's promise in the ground. Try that now. Watch the field behind the plow, turn to straight, dark rows, put another season's promise in the ground.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's interesting to note that here in downtown Boston and Cambridge, actually, there's so many people who understand farming. What have you been growing in those backyards? Come all you lads, draw near to me, that I be not forsaken. This day was lost, the genies see, and my living has been taken. I'll go to sea no more. We set out this day in the bright sunrise, the same as any other. My son and I and old John Price in the boat named for my mother. I'll go to sea no more. It's well, you know what the fishing has been. It's been scarce and hard and cruel, but this day, by God, we sure caught cod. And we sang and we laughed like fools. I'll go to sea no more. I'll never never know what it was we struck. But strike we did like thunder. John Price gave a cry and pitched overside. Now it's forever, he's gone under. I'll go to sea no more. Now a leak we've sprung, let there be no delay. Genie sailors sailing, John Price is drowned and slipped away. So I'll plug the hole while you're bailing. I'll go to sea no more. But no hole I found from bow to hold. No rock it was that got her. But what I found made my heart stop cold. For every seam poured water. I'll go to sea no more. My God, I cried as she went down. That boat was like no other. My father built her when I was 9 and named her for my mother. I'll go to sea no more. And sure, I could have another maid in the boat shop down in Dover, but I would not love the keel they laid like the one the waves rolled over. I'll go to sea no more. So come on, you lads, draw near the near, that I be not forsaken. This day was lost the Genie Sea, and my whole life has been taken. I'll go to sea no more. We got a lot of songs to get through here tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where the earth shows its bones of wind-broken stone, and the sea and the sky are one. I'm caught out of time, my blood sings with wine, and I'm running naked in the sun. There's God in the trees, I'm weak in the knees, and the sky is a painful blue. I'd like to look around, but honey, all I see is you. Summer city lights will soften the night till you think that the air is clear. And I'm sitting with friends where 45 cents will buy another glass of beer. And he's got something to say, but I'm so far away that I don't know who I'm talking to. 'Cause you just walked in the door, and honey, all I see is you. And I just want to hold you closer than I've ever held anyone before. You say you've been twice a wife and you're through with life. Oh, but honey, what the hell's it for? After 23 years, you think I could find a way to let you know somehow. But I want to see your smiling face 45 years from now. Alone in the lights on stage every night, I've been reaching out to find a friend who knows all the words, sings so she's heard, and knows how all the stories end. And maybe after the show she'll ask me to go home with her for a drink or two. Now her smile lights her eyes, but honey, all I see is you. And I just want to hold you closer than I've ever held anyone before. You say you've been twice a wife and you're through with life. Oh, but honey, what the hell's it for? After 23 years, you think I could find a way to let you know somehow. But I want to see your smiling face 45 years from now. Papa, so won't you? I just want to hold you closer than I've ever held anyone before. You say you've been twice a wife and you're through with life. Oh, but honey, what the hell's it for? After 23 years, you think I could find a way to let you know somehow that I want to see your smiling face 45 years from now. Smiling face 45 years from now.
Thank you. Thank you.
For just one time, I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wide and savage, and make a Northwest Passage to the sea. Westward from the Davis Strait, 'tis there 'twas said to lie, the sea route to the Orient, for which so many died, seeking gold and glory, leaving weathered, broken bones, and a long-forgotten, lonely cairn of stones. For just one time, I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wide and savage, and make a Northwest Passage to the sea. 3 centuries thereafter, I take passage overland in the footsteps of brave Kelso, where his sea of flowers began, watching cities rise before me, Then behind me sink again this tardiest explorer, driving hard across the plain. For just one time I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wide and savage, and make a Northwest Passage to the sea. And through the night, behind the wheel, the mileage clicking west, I think upon Mackenzie, David Thompson, and the rest, who cracked the mountain ramparts and did show a path for me to race the roaring Fraser to the sea. For just one time I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wide and savage, and make a Northwest Passage to the sea. How then am I so different from the first men through this way? Like them, I left a settled life, I threw it all away to seek a Northwest Passage at the call of many men, and find there but the road back home again. For just one time I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wide and savage, and make a Northwest Passage to the sea. Okay. I often take these night shift walks when the foreman's not around. I turn my back on the cooling stacks and make for open ground. Far out beyond the tank farm fence where the gas flare makes no sound, I forget the stink and I always think back to that eastern town. I remember back 60 years ago, this western life I chose, and every day the news would say some factory's going to close. Well, I could have stayed to take the dough, but I'm not one of those. I take nothing free, and that makes me an idiot, I suppose. So I bid farewell to the eastern town I never more will see. On work I must, so I eat this dust and breathe refinery. Oh, I miss the green in the woods and streams, and I don't like cowboy clothes, but I like being free, and that makes me an idiot, I suppose. fellers who've been beaten to the ground. This western life's no paradise, but it's better than lying down. Oh, the streets aren't clean and there's nothing green, and the hills are dirty brown. But the government dole will rock your soul back there in your hometown. So bid farewell to the eastern town you never more will see. There's self-respect and a steady check in this refinery. You will miss the green and the woods and streams, and the dust will fill your nose. But you'll be free and just like me, an idiot I suppose.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I once made a promise to myself that I would never write a totally political song. I've often thought that politics really doesn't have an awful lot of place on the stage. People pay an exorbitant amount of money to come out and hear somebody perform.
Particularly in our case.
In our case, yeah. They don't want to be lectured. You can get that at home. But a friend of mine took a little trip to England. It was the first time she'd been home to England in 20 years. Her first day in London, she decided to do a little sightseeing before she went north to see her folks. So she was taking some pictures of the horse guards going through the park. And the car she was standing beside blew up. So a single mother of 2 teenage daughters is courtesy of the IRA, making with one leg now. I don't care what your religion is or what your politics are or what cause you believe in, which side of the quarrel you agree with. The fact remains that when there are dead kids lying on the ground, all those causes have to go out the window. None of them mean a damn anymore. It's been 293 years since the Battle of the Boyne. I think that's long enough to hold a grudge. This is called the House of Orange. I took back my hand and I showed him the door. No dollar of mine would I part with this day for fueling the engine of a bloody, cruel war. In my forefathers' home far away, who fled the first famine wearing all that they owned, were called navigators, all ragged and torn, and built the Grand Trunk here and found a new home wherever their children were born. Their sons have no politics, none can recall, and allegiance to long generations before. Oh, this or that name can't matter at all, or be cause enough for to war. And meanwhile my babies are safe in their home, unlike their pale cousins who cower and cry, while kneecappers nail their poor dads to the floor and teach them to hate and to die. Now it's these cruel beggars who spurn a fair coin, the peace for their kids they could take at their will. Since the day old King Billy prevailed at the Boyne, they've bombed and they've maimed and they've killed. Now they cry out for money and wail at the door. But home rule or republic, 'tis all of it shame, and a curse for us here who want nothing of war. We're kindred in nothing but name. Have long since blown away. For causes our ashes where children lie slain, yet the damned UDL and the cruel IRA will tomorrow go murdering again. But no penny of mine will I add to the fray. Remember the Boyne, they will cry out in vain, for I've given my heart to the place I was born, and forgiven the whole house of Orange, King Billy and the whole house of Orange.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is a 500-year-old ballad written by a friend of ours. He's getting on. Okay.
The wounded knight that bore the Rowan shield, loud and true were the raven's cries that feasted on the field, singing backwater cold and clear will never clean your wound. There's none but the witch of the Westmoreland can make thee hale and soon. Oh, turn, turn your stallion head till his red mane flies in the wind, and the rider on the moon goes by and the bright star falls behind. here was the fading moon when his shadow passed him by. Below the hill were the brightest stars when he heard the owl cry, saying, why do you ride this way, and wherefore came you here? I see the witch of the western land who blows by the winding mere, and it's weary by the Old's water, in the misty Brakeburn way, till through the cleft of the Kirkstone past the winding water lay. He said, lie down, my brindle hound, and rest ye, make a grey hawk, and be my steed, may graze thy hill, for I must dismount and walk. But come when you hear my horn, and answer swift the call, for I fear the sun will rise this morn, you will serve me best of all. It's down to the water's brim, he's borne the rowan shield, and the golden rod he has cast in the sea with the lake light near. And quick rose she from the lake, but fast and fleet went she, one half the form of a maiden fair with a jet black mare's body. And loud along the shrill he flew, till his steed was by his side. High overhead the grey hawk flew, swiftly he did ride, singing chorus well and brindle town, fetch me the jet black mare, stoop and strike me good grey hawk, and bring me the maiden fair. Silvery sword, lay down the rowan shield, for I see by the briny blood that flows you've been wounded in the field. She stood in a gown of a velvet blue, bound around with a silver chain. She's kissed his pale lips once and twice, and 3 times round again. She's bound his wound with a golden rod, hold fast in her arms he lay, and he has risen hale and sound with the sun high in the day. He said, ride with your brindle hounds are here, and your good grey hawk in hand and arm, tonight whose way with the witch Thank you very much. I'd like you all to know that I've sold out completely. I now wear a tie on stage, and I don't wear jeans anymore. You know, it's kind of forsaken my roots. And all the way this came about, you see, I finally took government money. There's an outfit in Canada called the Canada Council for the Arts. It's a federal organization, very similar to an organization that you used to have here in the United States called the National Endowment for the Arts. I really don't understand it, you know. I mean, you elect a president who's got a folk singer for a daughter and a ballet dancer for a son, and immediately all arts funding in the country gets cut. What is he trying to tell you? We don't know. Well, the Canada Council still exists, and my friend David Essig, who's originally from Washington, D.C., but, oh my God, somebody knows him? He now lives in Canada. He's a wonderful songwriter, instrumentalist, performer. He wrote a letter to the Canada Council, and it went something like this. Dear Canada Council, my name is Dave Essig. I'd like to take a year off to write some weird esoteric guitar music and make an album. How about some money? Love, Dave. He got back a letter. It said, "Dear Dave, love the idea. Here's $19,000. Have a good time. Love the Canada Council." P.S. If you want more, it's there if you need it. Well, I got really excited. So I wrote a letter. It said, "Dear Canada Council, my name is Stan Rogers. I've written a lot of songs about the eastern part of North America and a lot of songs about the western part. Now what I want to do is fill up the gap in the map. I want to write a bunch of songs about the Great Lakes region. How about some money? Love, Stan." I got back a letter that said, "Dear occupant, your idea shows some merit. Here's $50. Have a good time. P.S. If you want more, forget it. Regards, Canada Council." This song is called White Squall, and it deals with a meteorological phenomenon in the Great Lakes, a very sudden storm. You'll be sailing along in your little Tupperware boat, having a wonderful time. The champagne will be cold. You know, the pâté will be perfectly smooth.
The company will be mellow.
Oh, wow.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes a very sudden storm, a very sudden wind, up to 100 miles an hour. And it only lasts 15 or 20 minutes, but when it's gone, so are you. Your Tupperware boat's at the bottom of the lake, and you're probably somewhere near it. And it's quite a...
Well, they talk about the Bermuda Triangle, you know, and there's a place on Lake Huron called the Godrich Rhomboid. There's the, you know, Sault Ste. Marie tetrahedron. There's all kinds of bizarre places out there nobody knows anything about.
This song also talks about the town of Wyerton, Ontario. Wyerton has provided more senior officers to the Great Lakes shipping lines than any other town in North America. Now, I've been to Wyerton, and I could understand why anybody would want to leave by the first available transportation. Not a pretty sight.
Actually, those of you who are into movies and stuff, you may have had a film here called Quest for Fire. Did you get that here? It was filmed mostly in downtown Wyerton. All the young men there, unfortunately, look like Greg Allman.
It's very, Quest for Fire really is Wyerton. It's, I mean, you go there on any Saturday night and you can see guys walking around on all fours in the main street.
They act like Greg Allman, too.
That's rough. White Squall. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's just my luck to have the watch with nothing left to do but watch the deadly waters glide as we roll north to the Sioux, and wonder when they'll turn again and pitch us to the rail and whirl off one more youngster in the gale. The kid was so damn eager, it was all so big and new. You never had to tell him twice or mind him work to do. And evenings on the mess deck, he was always first to sing and show us pictures of the girl he'd wed in the spring. But I told that kid 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into a white squall. Now it's a thing that us old-timers know in a sultry summer calm. There comes a blow from nowhere, and it goes off like a bomb. And a 15,000-tonner can be thrown upon her beam, while the gale takes all before it with a scream. The kid was on the hatches, lying staring at the sky. From where I stood, I swear I could see tears fall from his eyes. So I hadn't the heart to tell him that he should be on a line, even on a night so warm and fine. But I told that kid 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into a white squall. When it struck, he sat up with a start. I roared to him, get down, but for all that he could hear, I could as well not made a sound. So I clung there to the stanchions, and I felt my face go pale as he crawled hand over hand along the rail. Now I could feel her heeling over with the fury of the blow. I watched the rail go under, then so terrible and slow. Then like some great dog she shook herself and roared upright again. Far overside I heard him call my name, but I told that kid 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into white squall. So it's just my luck to have the watch with nothing left to do. Watch the deadly waters glide as we roll north to the Sioux. Wonder when they'll turn again and hitch us to the rail, and whirl off one more youngster in the gale. And I tell these kids 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into white squall. This next song is called Lockkeeper, and it arose out of my becoming reacquainted with an old childhood friend, a book written by Kenneth Grahame called The Wind in the Willows. And is there anybody here who had a deprived childhood, didn't read The Wind in the Willows? Hands up.
Those of you who haven't
What
read
high school is this?
what band is this? Our bass player hasn't read. Those of you who haven't read it, it's a really cute little book. It's got all kinds of little animals that run around in tweed jackets with leather patches on the elbows, and they all drink wine and beer together, and they talk English accents.
All the things we take for granted, you know? There's a wonderful scene in The Wind in the Willows where the river rat is lying on his back on a hillside, staring up at the sky, pondering the meaning of life. What is air? Why is a cow? Stuff like that. And as the mysteries of the universe are unfolding before his gaze, along comes a seagoing rat who's been vacationing inland and is now returning to his ship. They sit down and they have a few beers, a few laughs, trade songs and young dreams into the afternoon, have a pretty good time. And it comes about that the river rat is told of the wonderful places there are in the world. The seagoing rat tells the river rat of the wonders of the universe that he's seen, places like the waterfront at Marseille, the sewers of Cairo.
Anywhere in New Jersey.
And he invites the river rat to come with him on his next voyage, see some of these wonders for himself. The river rat is tempted, but he remembers that his little friends are back on the riverbank. His home is there. Everything that he loves is right back there in that grotty little hole. So he decides not to go. The same sort of thing happens on the St. Lawrence Seaway. The lock keepers and canal attendants there, they watch ships go by from all over the world.
And they talk to the crews, and they get a picture of life that you and I will probably never see. And then they go home to their little split-level houses in Port Dalhousie and Buffalo and exotic places like that. And they sit down in their lazy boy recliners, and they take out their 19.5% mortgages and read them over again, looking for a loophole. And, you know, they look at the 3.5 kids, and you know, their wife going by. And they think about Tahiti, and Bora Bora, Nukuhiva, Bali, San Francisco,
Enough.
Lockkeeper. Again, lockkeeper, we're laden even deeper than the time before. Oriental oils and tea brought down from Singapore. As we wait for my lock to cycle, I say my wife has just given me a son. A son, you cry, is that all that you've done? She wears bougainvillea blossoms. You pluck 'em from her hair and toss 'em in the tide. Sweep her in your arms and carry her inside. Eyes catch on your shoulder, her moonlit eyes grow bold and wiser through her tears, and I say, how could you stand to leave her for a year? Then come with me, you say, to where the Southern Cross rides high upon your shoulders. Come with me, you cry, each day attend this lock, you're one day older, while your blood grows colder. But that anchor chain's a fetter, and with it you are tethered to the foam. And I wouldn't trade your life for 1 hour of home. While you compensate for leeway through the trades, and you shoot the stars to see the miles you've made, and you laugh at hearts you've riven, but which of these has given us more love or life? You, your tropic maids, or me, my wife. Then come with me, you say, to where the Southern Cross rides high upon your shoulder. Oh, come with me, you cry, each day attend this lock, your one day older, tethered to the bone, and I wouldn't trade your life for 1 hour of home. Ah, your anchor chains a fetter, and with it you are tethered to the foam, and I wouldn't trade your whole life for 1 hour of home. Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. A letter of marque came from the king to the scummiest vessel I'd ever seen. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Oh, well, said Barrett, cried the town, how I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. For 20 brave men, all fishermen, who would make for him the Antelope's crew. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope sloop was a sickening sight. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She'd a list to the port and her sails in rags, and the cook in the scuppers with the staggers and jags. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the King's birthday we put to sea. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. We were 91 days to Montego Bay, bumping like madmen all the way. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the 96th day we sailed again. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. When a bloody great Yankee hove in sight, with our cracked 4-pounders we made to fight. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Yankee lay low down with gold. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She was broad and fat and loose in stays, but to catch her took the Antelope 2 whole days. God damn them all.
Come on, you wimps! Show us what you're made of!
Then at length we stood 2 cables away. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Our cracked 4-pounders made an awful din, but with one fat ball the Yanks stove us in. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope shook and pitched on her side. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Barrett was smashed like a bowl of eggs, and the main truck carried off both my legs. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. So here I lay in my 23rd year. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. It's been 6 years since we sailed away, and I just made Halifax yesterday. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good going, guys. Damn good for wimps.
I don't know why he says that. When I got Bob Kuzik's letter, I didn't quite know what to think. He wasn't the first person, actually, who's claimed that the Mary Ellen Carter saved his life, but he was the first one to offer proof. I've never met the man. I understand he's here tonight. I hope he hangs around so I can shake his hand. I'd like to introduce the band.
Hi.
Oh.
I
Swell.
was wondering who he was.
Swell. This gentleman over here, this tall, elegant morsel.
What a chunk, eh?
Ladies and gentlemen, from from Red Deer, Alberta, weighing a lot less than he did when he first joined the band. Yes, gradually getting worn down to proper bass player size. 5'2", 102 pounds. We're working on him. Please, a warm hand for Jim Morrison.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Over here is the reason I'm not an only child,
It's a dirty job.
but somebody has to do it. No, I'm tremendously grateful. Any hints of nepotism actually in the ranks of our organization are referred to our father. Mom runs the record company. Garnet plays with me, and I play with him. We get along pretty well, and Jim plays with us. And, is that a little bit of Alberta crude? Well, it's great, actually, having a family like we have, and I'm very proud to have my brother with me. He's my brother. He's also my friend, Garnet Rogers.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Our thanks to Len and all his people who've put this show together for us. We've had a wonderful time. Especially our thanks to Bill Morrissey, who turned out one wonderful show tonight.
Also, I'd like to thank Charlie, who's been doing sound tonight and doing a remarkable job.
Yes, excellent. Thank you, Charlie. Rise again, that her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Sing it with me, won't you? Rise again, louder. Rise again, that her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. I understand you know it.
Perfect.
October in a pouring, driving rain. The skipper he'd been drinking and the lady felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock and she was dealt her mortal blow, and the Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There was just a spy aboard her when she finally was awash. We'd worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost, and the groan she gave as she went down, it caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter would rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel was they spent. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and her sorry end. But insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest below. Then they laughed at us and said we had to go. We talked of her all winter, some days around the clock, for she's worth $250,000 afloat and at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, come on, rise again, that her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit and twice I've had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. We've hatched her vents, stopped her vents, dog hatched and porthole down, put tables to her fore and aft and girded her around. Tomorrow noon we'll hit the air and then take up the strain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again, that her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Crumble in the scale. She saved our lives so many times, living through the gales, and the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go, turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again, though your heart it be broken and life about to end. No matter what you've lost, be in a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again, though your heart it be broken and life about to end. No matter what you've lost, be in a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Jim Morrison, Garnet Rogers. What's the matter with you people? Oh, this is great. we've been playing in this area about once or twice a year for about 5 years now. Always at a very neat little card shop over on Palmer Street in Harvard Square. And as much as Passim has been a lot of fun for us and a real kind of stepping stone, it has been a stepping stone to this. And it feels awfully good to finally get into a concert hall with you folks and be able to kick out the jams a little. So. I'd like to do one by myself and then call the fellows back out, and we'll wind things up with another tune together. This song I learned from its writer. It's not very often that a hero lives up to your expectations. You know, you get an idea of somebody you might admire for one reason or another, and you get an idea in your head of just, of what they're like, and then you meet them and they're a nerd. Who is this drip? But the fellow that wrote this song, he is, if anything, greater than his songs. He may be one of the 2 or 3 best songwriters in the world. His songs are magnificent. He's written the most beautiful and evocative anti-war songs ever written. Songs like "And the Band Played Waltzing Matilda," "No Man's Land." I'm talking about Eric Bogle. When I met Eric, I sort of wasn't expecting too much because I figured, well, I've admired him and his music for years. If he turns out to be a bit of a jerk, well, that's okay. Turned out he's wonderful. He's a wonderful human being. Just a really fine man, and one of the most well-balanced individuals I've ever met, as this song is going to demonstrate to you. I mean, he writes these beautiful, serious war songs, but he also writes stuff like this. Oh, I should explain. In order for you to understand this song, you have to understand that the term moggy refers to an Australian pet cat. Okay, that's what they call pet cats over there. Somebody's moggy, just lying by the road. Somebody's pussy who forgot his highway code. Someone's favorite feline who just ran out of luck 'cause he ran out on the road and tried to argue with a truck. Yesterday he frolicked in his pussy paradise, decapitating Tweety birds and masticating mice. Now he's just 6 pounds of raw mincemeat that don't smell very nice. He's nobody's moggy now. Now if you love your pussy, do try to keep him in. Don't let him argue with a truck. The truck is bound to win. Never let him on the road to play and sport and frolic, 'cause if you do, I'm warning you, it could be catastrophic. I'm sorry. If you let him argue with a truck, I fear that will be that, for there'll be a last despairing and a sort of squelchy splat. And your pussy will be slightly dead and very, very flat. He's nobody's moggy, just red and wet and soggy. He's nobody's moggy now. Thank you very much. Will you please welcome back Garnet Rogers and Jim Morrison.
He doesn't do it anymore. He's forgotten it. He's a fellow who used to live in Stan's closet back in the days when Stan was living in London, Ontario.
Yes, we used to brew a lot of beer in that apartment. Consequently, we had a lot of friends. One night, Willie P. Bennett came over for a beer and stayed for 8 months.
He got confused and he couldn't find the door.
He moved into the hall closet. He came from a large family in Toronto. He said it was the first time he'd ever had a room to himself. Great guys. Willie, since that time, has become one of Canada's finest songwriters. We call him the Willie of the North.
He's also become a damn fine butler.
Yeah, that's right. Last time I saw Willie, he had a job as a butler for a Los Angeles psychiatrist. Oh dear. This is one of Willie's early tunes, and we've been doing it for a long time, and we still love it very much. We save it for special occasions, and this is certainly qualifying tonight. This is Music in Your Eyes.
Of my youth, I used to sit down and watch the river go down. And I'd send my dreams there around the bend, hoping they'd come back again. But now long time's gone by, and at least once a day I sit and think about when you were holy, and eager to see what you could find. It's funny how you lost the time. You wonder why I lay awake at night. Well, I just can't get to sleep. It's not the devils or the feelings inside, it's the peace of mind I seek. And you stand there laughing, and I'm standing staring, and I've come all this way, and all you ever said was that's okay. Tell by your surprise that you've been doing fine, so don't give me no more lies. We'll understand it all in time. Now music in your eyes, my God, I'd love to watch you dance. Don't be feeling shy, 'cause I know you how. Hey, you're not sleepy now. When I came into this town, I knew my hands were bounded. I knew I'd have to pay for my ways or else go underground. But I said, music in your eyes, I can tell by your surprise that you've been doing fine, so don't give me no more lies. We'll understand it all in time. Come on and shine now, music in your eyes. Come on. I can tell by your surprise that you've been doing fine. So don't give me no more lies. We'll understand it all in time. You know, we'll understand it. Jim Morrison on bass, Garnet Rogers on violin, flute, and guitar. Thank you very much, Cambridge. We'll see you next year.
Stan Rogers. Recorded live, Payne Hall, Harvard University, May 14th, 1983.